sure that Commissioner Alston is able to get on because he asked to be on this. So if you'll hold, please.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Hey, Jansen, I don't have permission to record.
Who is speaking?
It's Randall Maynard.
Randall. Okay. Let me find
Yeah, Jansen, City of High Point, we need permission as well.
Okay.
Fox 8 needs permission as well, Jansen.
Randall, mine says you are allowed.
Yeah, mine still says please request.
Okay, I revoked it and then put it back on, so hopefully that worked.
Jansen, Fox 8 is still waiting for permission too.
Lori just did yours. Did you have a reporter in as well?
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Hold on, he's trying to get on. We'll be right with you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mine's still not working, so I'm going to leave and come back.
Okay. High Point, did you guys get situated?
Yes, it's allowing us to record. Thank you.
Randall, let's try this again. Randall, you should be able to. That's what my side says.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why I'm not able to.
Jansen, would you be able to send the file out to everyone later, just to make sure everyone has the audio?
If my computer allows it to save to my desktop, I will. We have file limits, but I'll record it. I will definitely try.
Okay, if anyone needs it, I'm recording using different audio software if someone needs it.
Thank you, Liz.
Jansen, I know Commissioner Alston will try to keep going, getting on, but I know Commissioner Foster is here. So we'll get started. Is that
Perfect. Yes, ma'am. And I just resent him the link. So just so you're aware.
okay? Thank you all for joining us today for a very important announcement. I first want to thank Chairman of the Guilford County Board of Commissioners, Skip Alston, and Vice Chair Calvina Foster along with Mayor Nancy Vaughn, Mayor Jay Wagner, and the leadership at the Greensboro Transit Authority and High Point Transit for their work and partnership. We saw firsthand this morning how rising COVID-19 cases in our community, along with the nationwide bus driver shortage, can affect getting students to school in a timely and efficient manner. After proactively announcing school delays on Thursday evening and seeing that this problem was getting worse, Guilford County Schools immediately contacted Commissioner Skip Alston, who convened our transportation partners in Greensboro and High Point. Due to expected increased bus driver absences next week, we unfortunately have to announce that Guilford County School students who attend a high school in the city of High Point or the city of Greensboro will not have access to a yellow school bus for at least the next 2 weeks. However, we are happy to announce that beginning on Monday, these same students who attend a high school in the city of High Point or the city of Greensboro will be able to access public transportation for free. The newly formed partnership will allow our schools to redirect the bus drivers to elementary and middle schools and high schools in the county where there is no public transportation. This means that we will not be picking up high school students who attend the following high schools: High Point Central, Andrews High, Kearns Academy, GTCC High Point, Dudley High School, Grimsley High School, Page High School, Smith High School, Academy at Smith, GTCC at Greensboro, the Middle College at North Carolina A&T, the Middle College at UNCG, the Early College at Guilford, STEM Early College at North Carolina A&T, Weaver Academy, the Middle College at Bennett. But again, these students will have free access to public transportation by showing their one card student ID. Mask will be required on public transportation as they are on GCS buses. We will provide families with specific information on how to access their routes closest to their home. Parents, please be on the lookout for communication over the weekend as we push out information on how to use public transit. We also ask that parents that can drive students to school, please do so. But if you do not have a means to school, you will have access to public transit if you attend one of those high schools. This will allow us to keep schools open by providing transportation, the yellow buses, or continuing to provide the yellow buses to our elementary and middle schools and the high schools in the county areas where there is no public transportation. Again, I thank Commissioner Alston and Commissioner Foster for their leadership, Mayor Wagner, Mayor Vaughn, who pulled this together very quickly. Both our City of High Point office and the transit office in Greensboro. We could not have done this without their very rapid response today and outstanding leadership. And with that, we have representatives from the City of High Point here. We have representatives. We have Kimberly Sowell, the Assistant City Manager of Greensboro, here to take questions, as well as members of the transportation team for the Guilford County Schools. We'll take any questions that you might have.
And if you'll just raise a hand, I can call on people. If you'll raise a hand in the chat, please. Liz Schlimmer, go ahead. Nope, that's fine. I saw it.
How many bus drivers were out today, and what percentage of your overall force of bus drivers was that?
So in addition to the number of vacancies that we had an additional 76 drivers out who have tested positive for COVID. That number, including the vacancies, account for approximately a third of our drivers.
Avery Powell.
Obviously, this is kind of a temporary solution, Dr. Contreras. What are you all talking about going forward in terms of getting more bus drivers in a permanent way?
So we're utilizing the same strategies that other districts are trying to use, and that's providing incentives. As you know, the Board of County Commissioners increased the pay to $15 an hour minimum for the bus drivers. And we also pay incentives for those that have good attendance, up to $1,000 a month for perfect attendance. So we're doing everything possible, but it is very difficult to get individuals with that CDL license. I know that the Department of Labor at the national level and Department of Transportation are working to relax some of the requirements for CDLs, but it is still very difficult to get those drivers. And that's what's causing also some of the supply chain issues in the nation and, truck driver shortages, et cetera. So we're going to be at this for a while. I think in this country as we try to recover from this pandemic.
Please raise your hands in the chat if you have a question, please.
Oh. Jansen, can I ask a question?
Yes, Sarah.
Okay. Dr. Contreras, just a question for you. This is going to be hard for a lot of parents. What if they're concerned about their kids taking public transportation? Maybe not all parents want their kids on public transportation. What are you going to say in response when parents do hear this announcement?
What am I going to say in response to?
Yes, in response to the announcement you gave about the public transportation. And are there other ways or anything if parents don't want to go with that and they also can't drive their kids to school?
Yes, she said in her statement that we are encouraging all families to drive if they are able.
Right. We encourage them to drive their children to school. We're saying to use public transportation if they have no other means. I would ask both our partners at the City of High Point and Ms. Sowell to speak to the safety of our public transportation system. There are millions of students all over the country that use public transportation to get to high school every single day. So I would just turn it over to our City of High Point team and our partner with the City of Greensboro.
Thank you.
So I can speak first. Hello, everyone. My name is Kimberly Sowell. I'm one of the assistant city managers with the City of Greensboro. And we are truly proud and excited to be able to collaborate with Guilford County Schools to help meet the transit needs of our students. And we provide security at our depot, which is the transportation hub where the transfers happen. And so if there are any, concerns, questions that students would have, those security personnel would be available to assist them. Actually, on the buses, there are no security personnel, but our bus drivers are trained to mediate if there are any types of concerns or anything that comes up. So we have a very safe transit system. There are very few incidents of, concerns or any types of interactions that require any type of intervention. So to Dr. Contreras's point, we have a very safe transit system and we don't see a real concern with students utilizing our system. We just want to make sure that they're educated about, we feel the need to make sure they understand the routes that need to be taken and how to make the transfers. That's where we're focusing a lot of our efforts on.
This is Greg Ferguson, Deputy City Manager for City of High Point. We also have a very safe transit system. We have thousands of transit riders each day. We have a broad avenue terminal in our center city where many of these students will be passing through. Our police department will be engaged in making sure that this new transportation option continues to be safe. We encourage parents to take the time over the weekend to make themselves aware of the resources that the school system will provide over the weekend, get to know the transit routes, something about how they work and the best way to use them efficiently, and then have adequate time on Monday morning to use the ride apps to plan those trips in a timely manner.
Thank you so much. Justin from WXI.
Hi, Superintendent. Good evening. Justin with WXI. I just had a quick question for you. You had mentioned, obviously, this temporary solution for about the next 2 weeks. What happens after the next 2 weeks? Is there any type of plan in place after that?
Yeah, we could extend this if we need to continue to use public transportation. We'll continue to use public transportation as long as there is a bus driver shortage. We're hoping that by that time, the Omicron variant will have peaked, that surge will peak, and that most of our bus drivers will have returned at that point. But certainly, Greensboro, the city of Greensboro and the city of High Point have been very generous and are allowing us to, our students to utilize public transportation for as long as they need to.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
I just want to remind us all that if you look at the state and national context, this morning, the largest district in the state, one of the largest in the nation in Wake County, had to announce that 15% of its routes were not running. 65 schools had received an email. The parents of students at those schools received an email that they would not have any transportation. So I'm just so grateful again that we have an option here through our partners and with the city of Greensboro and the city of High Point. It is not an ideal situation, but nothing about this time is normal. There's nothing here that any of us have ever experienced. And it is causing us to do some things that are unusual, but it is allowing us this partnership and allowing students to utilize public transportation will allow us to keep schools open. And so again, I'm so grateful for our county leadership. Again, Mayor Vaughn, Mayor Wagner, the city of High Point, the city of Greensboro for coming through for us. And I'm grateful to all of the parents for their patience. I know this is very frustrating and it seems last minute, but we have no way of knowing how many bus drivers will be out. They get the notice when they get the notice that they are positive and they call in that evening and we call you and make the call as soon as we know. But the last thing we want to do is call late at night or early in the morning and say there's no school. So we did everything in our power to keep schools open this morning with the delays. And now we're letting you know this evening what our plans are, and we'll work all weekend to make sure that we give you more information and detailed information about the public transit system in both cities. We also want the parents who have students who have IEPs that indicate that they have transportation because of the IEP or transportation written into the IEP, they will continue to have yellow bus service. If you have any questions about that, we will have a number for you to call this weekend. Please don't fret that you won't have any additional information this weekend. We'll be pushing that out starting tomorrow. And I'd like to just ask Commissioner Alston or Commissioner Foster if you have any thing to say. And then I see Ms. Pounds, you had a question. If you want to go first, Jess, let Jesse had one question first, Commissioner Alston.
And that'll be the last question. And then
Yeah, I just wanted to check in your knowledge, and maybe you've asked other people, has Guilford County Schools ever delayed school for reason of shortage of bus drivers, or has GCS ever canceled its bus service for high school students? Is this unprecedented?
I believe it's unprecedented, but I also think the CDL requirements are unprecedented. When I got here and as I talked to people, they all remind me they drove the bus when they were high school students. So it's very difficult now to get drivers where 20 years ago, you could get the local high school student to drive the school bus. So that has caused it's probably much safer now, but it's also much more difficult to hire individuals. So these are very difficult times for us. But like I said, Jesse, we're not the only ones. If you look at the News and Observer this morning, there's an article about 65 schools not having any bus service this morning in Wake County. And nationally, there are many districts that don't have bus service because of the national bus shortage and the surge in COVID positivity rates.
Thank you.
Commissioner Alston.
Let me say, first of all, thank you all, especially the municipalities, the city of Greensboro, High Point, the mayors of the cities, the assistant mayors, the transportation managers, all of them came together this afternoon in order to address this problem. It shows how we can work together as one Guilford County. When one of our municipalities, one part of our family has a problem, we came together. That's what this is all about. We came together. Dr. Contreras called me this morning, asked what we might be able to do. We made a few calls. Everybody came there with a helping hand. And that's how we work as one Guilford County. And I'm so proud of the leadership on how we came together to solve this problem, because it's not just the school board's problem, it's our problem. And now we together have tried to solve this problem, not solve it permanently. It's a temporary solution until we can get to a better solution. But we have come together in an emergency situation in order to address this problem that our school system is having, because again, the kids belong to all of us. At Greensboro, High Point, I'm proud of the leadership there and the way that we've come together this afternoon and being able to make this announcement today that we will have an option. And it's only an option that another option that we will have in order to get our kids to our schools. And that's what it's all about. So again, thank you all for coming together. And that shows that we can work together as one Guilford County.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure we'll be calling you again over the weekend with additional information as we move forward. Commissioner Foster, did you have your hand up?
Oh, I can say something. We all know how bus transportation is very crucial to many students across Guilford County, particularly to students with working parents who aren't able to drive their kids to school, who depend on bus for transportation. We've suffered enough learning loss over the past year due to COVID, and getting to school safely and timely is very necessary for our students to be able to continue in the learning environment, but also to be able to offer continuity in family situations so that families and parents aren't stressing over how can my child get to school? How can I get to work? How can we continue our normal lives? So this is a temporary disruption. And I'm so thankful that we have been able to come to a viable solution today. I too want to thank the city of High Point for being at the table, the city of Greensboro, and thank you, Dr. Contreras, for reaching out to help to garner all of the partners to find a viable solution to this temporary crisis that we're facing in Guilford County. So thank all of you for being at the table, and we really appreciate the solution that we've been able to work out today.
Thank you, Commissioner Foster. And I think she said it best. This is a temporary crisis. We're going to get through this. Hopefully we'll get through it in the next couple of weeks. It may be slightly longer, but we will get through it, and we're going to get those students in school. And I think that's what we heard loud and clear from parents. Please keep schools open. It has just caused so much of a problem for students to be home, and it's caused social emotional problems. It's caused learning loss problems. It's caused problems for our parents who work. So we are keeping schools open, but that means we've had to find new ways to transport them. And again, so grateful to our partners at the City of Greensboro and City of High Point for what they were able to pull off today. And again, expect more information from the district and from the school principals all weekend long. Again, you can start looking at the apps provided, transportation apps, to look at your local bus stops and start practicing so you know what the routes are to get to your local high school.
Thank you so much. We again appreciate everyone for coming out and for everyone's partnership with working on with us on this. And we look forward to seeing you guys in the coming days. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.